Oh.
Hello. I was sat like this, waiting. There we go.
There you go.
Oh. Oh.
When the riffs hit just right.
Screenshot that, and I want that screenshot. Oh. Right. Cool. What's going
Right,
on?
what are we doing?
Talking about stuff, I think.
About this song.
This song, yeah. We're doing. This is probably will last about a week because we'll fail to keep doing it. But this is going to be a podcast.
No, this is why you bank them. So we're going to get the beginning of the week. We're going to record 7. Okay. That's a point. Actually, we're going to have to do less than that because we don't actually have that many songs. So we're going to have to do like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We
got loads of songs.
One a week.
We just start doing them on the little demos I have that have never been released. Like the 2-second riffs.
Mission start. Get that out.
That could that'd be a good.
Appearance.
Well, we'll have to talk about that. That's one of our songs.
That's how it started. The motif from the unreleased tracks.
No, but Mission Start became the opener of Irretraceable Steps.
Did it?
Yeah. Do you not remember our song title stuff?
No.
So anyway, we're gonna discuss each song by episode, and then maybe see if we can get some people we know on.
Yeah, we're very well connected.
Yeah, we don't know anyone. We don't even know each other. That's why we're in different rooms.
We know Rituals.
Yeah, we could get. We'll see.
Biggest up-and-coming band in Newcastle.
They might be too big for us soon. They're playing all over.
They probably are already.
No. Don't talk like that. Do you want to start asking some questions, and then, seeing as I was the only member,
you're the only one that actually
who was there
for this song, yeah. Well, yeah. How did it start about? Because was this one of the first ones that you wrote? Was it the Catalyst you wrote first?
This was actually the third song. That was well. It depends where we class as the first song.
Right. Okay.
But technically, the third song of that initial EP, which was our second release, I guess. So we released all those singles, and then we did the album, and then we did the EP. We re-released them as an EP.
We redid them. We kind of rejigged them completely, though, didn't we? When we re-released them.
Like
they were all completely new. Regenerate completely changed. That was not. There's nothing left in that song. I think that was in the original. Apart from the synths.
The original Pillara, which is still on everything, is the one we recorded in 2019. No, it was probably 2018. I remember we did it. It was so that song was written in 2017 when I was in uni, and I was with the other 2 original members. And I remember it was me and the bass player, and we were just sat in his room, and then I think he came up with the bass riff, and then I was just jamming around on top, and then I came up with the we were just messing around.
I love the story. I think it's for that song where was it a flatmate or was it just a course mate that was sat with like a practice pad or something trying to get the groove going, and it was just
that was the Catalyst.
Absolutely not going anywhere. It was
he really wanted.
Oh right.
He really wanted to be
really trying hard. Yeah.
He didn't really fit. Then we got Josh, the original
good enough neck beard.
Yeah, and needs to have less hair than me.
Yeah.
So we wrote that in just like the uni flat, and then we went, and then we had that initial riff, and then I took that and then basically wrote the rest of the song in the evening. It was pretty much written in a day, but I will prove the rumors to be true. And it's when we had tutors at uni, and they told us to basically, to start off, to get your sound, basically just copy other people. So this was, at this point I'd been writing for ages, as you know, because when we were at school I was writing loads of music. Yeah. So I already kind of had a sound.
You'd already written an album before you'd gone to uni. Whether anyone will ever hear that. Although there's
I might
bits
reuse some of the riffs.
Oh,
yeah. So we then, what was I saying? We got, the tutor said basically copy other people. So I basically took Animals as Leaders and then applied it to myself, which is kind of how I've approached any song after this as well. Not just Animals as Leaders, but like, if you take lots of different ideas and put it together, you make something new. But this one, maybe apart from Dave, but this one is probably the second closest to being quite. If you put them next to each other, you're like, oh, I can see where he's taking the ideas from, but then it's not the same.
Yeah, it's like
it follows an arc that is similar to AFO. It was a visual song really with this one as well. It was meant to look impressive.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I mean, I stopped trying to make impressive songs a while back now, but people might argue differently, but I haven't approached it that way. But this song was written to be like, let's make something really crazy.
It's like when you said recently about, you said to me about like, I've stopped, you had to slow down. There were so many notes and it was so fast. You're like, I physically can't go faster than this. Or if I put any more notes in this,
it was basically. I mean, we'll probably, if we actually do every single song, well, I'll tell you probably the point where I was like, this is where I had to change my approach. But it was this. What solo was good because this was the first one I like laid down, and I'm pretty sure I did it in one take because we had a producer at the time who was working with us before you took over. So I was just in his flat and was like, let's play and let's do a solo. And I'd really planned this one out. Whereas a lot of the later solos, I would just be sat in my room and do a bar or two and be like, okay, what can come next? It's a bit more composed, whereas that one was more kind of me playing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rather than what serves the song, even though it does, but at that point there was nothing else to compare it to. It's like I can do what I want. You know, I don't have to make the solo harder or different. You know, it was just kind of I can do whatever.
Yeah, and like you say, it does actually serve the song quite well, but you know, it's its own. It's its own thing.
And I've played that solo for 5 years now, so like playing live, I can just kind of put silly tricks in and play it upside down.
Yeah.
I remember when we recorded it, the drums. All the original drums are still on the remake, aren't they? But you might have triggered some.
I triggered them, but it's the overheads really that are the same. The overheads in the room that are still the same.
We were in the studio, and then me and the other guys were hungry, so we went to the co-op to get food, basically. And then on the way back, there was this house on fire, like full on.
Okay, right.
Burning down. We had to rig the fire engine.
I don't think even I've heard this.
No, we were just sat at the set. It was like we must have played.
Sat literally watching the world burn.
Yeah, well, it was like an abandoned house, but I don't know what happened. But it was we just stood on the corner watching this house burn, and then we went back in and finished recording drums. And we did a release gig as well for this, which was the day it was released on the 4th of April 2019. I think that's the date, and that was really cool. We got loads of photos from that one. I remember I just got, because I was using the red guitar at the time, I had to get a backup one, which is the Gem Junior, just because we were doing loads of gigs and I was conscious that because I was using the whammy bar, if I snap a string, I'll have to. I can't play.
Yeah.
So I got the Gem Junior as just a backup, and I was like, oh, first gig, I'll use that, and I hadn't quite set it up. So I get on stage, and then first song, the string gets caught in the pickup, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? What is going on?
No.
So I think the first song was, it must have been Denial that we played, and then Denial was fine, and then Exulansis was the second one, and that's when it messed up. And then it just, the song went so bad, it was like no one knew, you wouldn't have been able to recognize it, but at that point that song hadn't even been released. So
which one was that for?
Exulansis, but that was for the Pillara release gig. But that, I remember it was a 40-minute set, and that was the longest set we'd ever done at that point. Because every other gig beforehand was like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, this is mad. This is like...
Have you even released enough songs at that point? Well, you hadn't released enough songs.
This is the first...
Like...
We did... It would have been basically the Catalyst EP. A Countdown would have been in there. Because that was a really early song. We would have done Denial and Reactionary and Collapsing Reality, the original version, before it got too epic. Was in the set. The one you learned when you joined.
I don't remember actually learning that really at that point.
Yeah.
I remember the new one. I don't remember the old one, the older version. I can't.
It's just without the Morse code bit. I mean, the top secret bit.
We can't do that. We'll have to cut that. We'll have to cut that.
I wasn't supposed to say it.
You can't give it away.
I'm pretty sure I've said it.
That's for the fans to work out.
Yeah. Is it skipping the song again?
Oh, is it?
Is it not like...
Don't worry, I'll fix it.
Yeah, you'll fix it. But what was I saying? So we had, I think that would have been about 40 minutes, and it was like, oh, this is like full set.
So we've made it, guys.
This is like, I don't know how I'm gonna ever write more music than this. And then, I mean, I don't know how many songs we got, like 2 hours and a half worth of music now. But yeah, that was a cool gig. I wasn't wireless at that point, and I was using amps. But the venue was good, so the sound guy was good, and that was probably the only gig we ever did where people on my uni course showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they didn't show up.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that, isn't it? I mean,
we were the only. It's changed there now, but when we were there, we were like the only metal band, and a lot of the other musicians obviously didn't make metal, so they didn't want to watch it, you know. But we got lots of other connections through other bands that were in the city, and worked that way. But wrong audience advertising, I guess.
I suppose so.
Then after that, so we released that song, and then you joined only a few months after that.
I joined after you'd released Catalyst.
It was before we released that.
Was it? I thought you'd done it.
Yeah. No, we'd finished it, yeah, but
oh right, but
the original Catalyst, which isn't on anything anymore.
No.
No, you can get it on BANDCAMP as the demo album, I think. A demo EP on BANDCAMP.
Is the original? Are all the originals on there?
Yeah. But they're only as demos. Like, you can get the better versions. Yeah, you joined, and then we decided to after it hit lockdown, then we redid those.
Yes, because that was. Did we do that first, and then we recorded stages, or did we do stages first and then we?
So we did.
I can't remember the way.
Because I had a plan of releasing a song every 2 months.
Yeah.
And because it took so long to get the Catalyst done, you then took over with production.
Yeah.
And then joined the band as well, and then things went a lot quicker. But at the time, they weren't as well done, but because we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah. Well,
but I knew if you joined, we'd be able to develop the sound better. It's like it might not be as good. It was just different to start with. But then I knew, because you knew how I composed, and we'd played together previously.
I think
we could develop it over time. You know?
Yeah, I think there is something to be said where I know what you want and what you're going for a lot of it. I mean, even when it comes to sort of writing stuff, I know your motifs, I know how you write and sort of how your brain works, so I can sort of recreate that fairly well. I think I would like to think
it's difficult to explain what you want to someone who doesn't get it as well. Because nothing to do with anyone else. It's more like it's. I know what I want, and it's hard to give that to someone else.
The way that I look at it is, it's sort of from a production standpoint, and even a sort of mixing, and even beyond that sort of standpoint, I can do our stuff quite well at this point because I know what it is. But if it was doing for someone else, it would be exactly the same problem as they would be facing with us. It would basically just be in one ear out the other, because we're sitting there going, no, we need that, and push that louder, make that louder. No, that goes over there, not over there. No. And for them, they're going, but this is not how I mix. This is how I do it. So for us, it's fine because I can do that. But for someone else, it would be a big sort of learning curve of, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, and it means we can do it a lot quicker, and they end up sounding better eventually. Sometimes we mess up and then we have to redo. But like I've said this to you, if we release a song and it doesn't work or it doesn't sound right, we can just re-release it. Like, if no one heard it the first time, people might second.
We're not exactly sort of losing or annoying our hundreds of thousands of fans by re-releasing it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day.
One day they'll be demanding the original releases.
Really, we'll put it on cassettes and we'll give them.
Ooh, I like the idea of having some of our stuff on cassettes, like a demo.
No one will be able to play it.
But there's the novelty of owning a cassette, isn't there? It's like almost like the novelty of owning a vinyl, but even more of a novelty because you literally barely have anywhere to play it.
What did you think when you first heard the song? There you go. Let's hear your perspective of the timeline.
When I first heard it, I was quite jealous because because at that point I knew I wanted to be in some kind of band, and I saw you were doing it, and I was just kind of I remember him.
Because I got you to learn that, didn't I?
Yeah.
When I needed you to cover that gig.
Yeah, that was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever had to cover. Because did you send me a click for that, or was I literally just going off the recording for that? I can't remember now.
Yeah, it was off the recording. I made sure it wasn't a click.
Did you?
Which seems mean, but if I'm going to get someone to learn the songs, I want to see what they're capable of with the least amount of help.
And I still don't know.
It might be mean.
Yeah, and I still don't know why you picked me on that basis.
I told you it was for the production.
Yeah, use my facilities.
It was for the plugins.
See, even then, you own all of them now, so I'm literally expendable at any moment because you've got them all now.
It was. I knew you wanted to do it, and it was. Again, I've said this to some other people that have wanted to work with us. It's like I'd rather have people who like the music and really want to do it than someone who doesn't, who is the best player in the world. I mean, you played this song so many times now that.
Yeah, I probably still play it.
I guess you did. Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. Most likely.
I don't know. I play them all wrong. I just do it on purpose.
I play every single. Well, I wrote them, so I guess I can't.
What, play it wrong?
I'm playing the abridged version that I've also
Oh,
written.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think that we've done a single gig where I've played a song right.
Yeah, but that's sort of.
But they're always. This is how I play, though.
Yeah.
I don't like playing it back.
Yeah. We're sort of going back to what I was saying, isn't it? Like, if when you're vibing and actually playing the music and enjoying doing it, you're spending less time worrying about playing every single note right, because you know for a fact that you're going to be playing it okay, and you can actually just get involved and breathe and, feel the music. And
That's
that's
why I made
that's
the,
why you do it, isn't it?
That's why I made the guitar parts easier, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are still quite hard. But,
like,
if you take this song, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I can perform this one pretty well now, but before it was like I gotta stand. Like, it's not actually that difficult, really.
Yeah.
It's not really that difficult.
Well, your playing has evolved since then as well, haven't you? Like, you've improved as a player in general, both live and just in general. Recording.
I mean, you say that, but I look back. I mean, there's definitely old videos of me that I know are really bad, but there's also some where it's like, I'm playing real quick there. I can't play that.
It's not all about playing. It's not.
It
it's
is
not about playing loads of notes. It's about.
It is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. It is about playing. Is
that why you're so much encouraging me to add more blast beats in every single song?
Yeah. It's all about
the fast.
Yeah. It's about playing as fast as possible and then chopping bits out, so then it's a weird rhythm. Yeah.
Just if it's ever midied, if it's not one solid line of red, then it's not done right. It's got to be.
Well, that's the only way to program drums. I tell you what, this bit coming up in the song.
This bit.
I was like, I'm so clever.
It's the heaviest thing ever.
I'm like this. The drop. This is the coolest thing ever.
This is the cleverest bit ever. This bit.
Yeah.
Make the crowds go.
It's 7. It's 7, and then it has a bar of 5, and then it goes to 4.
Yeah. What?
But I always talk about this track when it comes to time signatures. You count the 7, and then you feel like you want to make it 4. You know. So then that section works as a build-up to the solo, because you're just on edge, and then the release is the solo, and then that random bar of 5 before it with the hit is like really trips you up, and then you get hit with the 4, and then that's when it's like nice and, well, not nice, but rhythmically nice. And you can use time signatures like chords, where you use them for tension in the same way you can with harmony.
Yeah, it's not anything.
I see. Yeah, I mean, the thing about these early ones as well is we had basically these 4. Well, we had these 4, and then countdown for and that was the set we had. So we'd open with countdown, and then we'd play Regenerate, Excelentis, the Catalyst, and then Pillara, and that would be our 25-minute set. For all the first lot of gigs. And they were the only ones we did, so we absolutely jammed those out for ages. Whereas now it's more, the song gets written, we get it written, recorded, released, and then we learn. It's like on and reverse.
Well, yeah.
But we had to change it this way to have consistent releases.
Yeah. Are you going to sign off with there it is?